Before we dive in, I have some exciting news. I'm officially opening the doors for the May group of the Fertile PCOS Clinical Blueprint. I created this for the woman who is tired of the wait-and-see approach and is ready to actually build a real foundation for her fertility. We'll use my 3-phase plan to quiet those internal alarms and get your hormone signals working again. This exact process has a 70% success rate for pregnancy. Because I personally oversee every single case in this group, I only take a few women at a time. If you're ready to stop the guesswork and start building your foundation this May, head over to drangelapotter.com/blueprint and submit your application today. I'm looking forward to reviewing your case. Now let's get into the show. Welcome to the PCOS Lab. I'm Dr. Angela Potter. If you're tired of Band-Aid solutions and being told your labs are fine when you don't feel fine, you're in the right place. We use clinical engineering to move your body out of survival mode and into the biological safety required for motherhood. Let's get to work on your breakthrough. If you have PCOS, you've likely been told that your weight is either the reason for your problems or the proof that you don't have any. Our culture, it has decided on this typical picture of PCOS, and it has created a dangerous medical divide. If you're a woman with extra weight, you're often told the scale is the only thing that matters. If you are a woman who doesn't hold on to much weight, you're told that you're fine and dismissed because you don't fit the image. But here is the clinical truth. If you walk away with only one thing, this is it from today's episode. Your ovaries, they don't own a scale. They don't know what you look like in the mirror. They only know the chemical signals that they receive every single day. And in the medical world, it is too often being projected that the number on the scale contributes to specifically ovulation stopping and fertility issues. And when we get pigeonholed into looking at the number on the scale and forming a fertility plan based on that number, that is when you miss the mark. It completely misses the mark because that leaves these other questions about your internal physiology that have to get answered regardless of the number on the scale. So today I am flipping this script. You and I are going to talk about why your external body shape is the least important piece of your fertility puzzle. We're going to dive into why looking healthy can be a mask, why weight is a lazy diagnosis, and how we can get to the actual root cause of your ovulation stalls. I'm Dr. Angela Potter. Welcome to the lab. Let's dive in. So in my practice, I have a very strict rule. I don't look at weight. I don't ask for the number on the scale. I don't know my client's BMI, and frankly, I don't want to. That might sound pretty strong, and why would I have such a strong response to weight and BMI? Because BMI, it tells me nothing about your egg quality. It tells me nothing about your uterine lining or your progesterone levels. When we focus on weight, we fall into the BMI blind spot. And I see women on both sides of this being failed by the system. So on one side of things, the woman who doesn't hold on to much weight, she's often dismissed. Because she is thin, her doctor ignores her missing periods and cystic acne. She's just told she's fine, and yet she can't get pregnant. Her normal, that's in quotation marks, weight, it's a mask hiding internal inflammation. It's hiding nutrient deficiencies that are making her eggs not able to develop. It's masking adrenal issues, such high stress that she can't function during the day. And yet, when she goes to see her doctor, she's just getting dismissed. Like, oh, well, you don't look like you have PCOS, so you must not. And then on the other side, the woman that holds on to extra weight. She's often gaslit. She's told that her weight is the only problem. She's told, okay, just lose 20 pounds, lose 75 pounds, and all your fertility problems are going to open up. As if that is going to magically fix her egg quality. Her doctors are so focused on the scale that they'll miss the underlying thyroid issues or gut health problems actually causing the stall. In my blueprint, I stop looking at the container and I start looking at the contents. I look at symptoms. I look at science. I look at labs. I look at physiology. I do not look at the number on the scale. I do not look at BMI. And I will tell you that women who look like they have a normal weight, normal according to our culture, who don't hold on to a lot of extra weight, they have PCOS. There is a type of PCOS, lean PCOS, and that is for someone who doesn't hold on to more weight and still has ovulation issues, can still have cysts on our ovaries, still has elevated testosterone. And if you are in that side of things, I'll speak to you directly right now. You are not crazy for your symptoms. You can very well have that PCOS diagnosis and still not have this typical picture of PCOS that our culture has painted. And if you have gotten dismissed, you are not crazy and your symptoms are not made up. And a doctor like myself will look at you based on your symptoms and the clinical picture coming up through your labs and your PCOS type, and march forward with a blueprint for you based on that information, not based on the number on the scale. And it's possible for you to get pregnant. I was working with somebody who had the lean PCOS, was not ovulating, originally was told that she had HA, hypothalamic amenorrhea, which is often getting mixed up with PCOS. And she stopped exercising. She was following an HA protocol and it wasn't working. She wasn't feeling good because she didn't have her exercise that was really important for her mental health and just feeling good. And she wasn't seeing results either. Her period wasn't coming back, nothing. So when she started working with me and going through the blueprint, I addressed what was coming up on her labs, why she wasn't ovulating. We found that underlying cause. And within the year, she was pregnant with a healthy baby. And now, if you're listening and you're someone who holds on to extra weight and you have had that conversation maybe multiple times, that it's your weight, that if only you could lose 20 pounds, if only you could lose 50 pounds, then that everything's going to open up for your fertility. Guess what? That doctor who was telling you that is pigeonholed into the weight discussion that unfortunately has infiltrated our medical system. It's not your fault. You do not have to work harder. You do not need to go on another diet in order to get pregnant. You need a blueprint that's going to look at your symptoms and your internal physiology through your labs, through your PCOS type, to understand what it is that's keeping you stuck. Because it's not the weight. Your egg quality doesn't care about your weight. Your adrenal, your stress hormone cortisol doesn't care about the weight. Your testosterone doesn't care about it. You can have a fertility plan that is focused on the root cause of what is keeping your ovulation stalled. You can have a plan that's helping your eggs be the healthiest that they can be. And your insulin is low and your inflammation is low and you feel good and healthy every day when you wake up, knowing that you are marching straight forward to baby. You can have that without the number on the scale moving. I'll share this story with you. I was working with somebody who had been trying to get pregnant for over 5 years and had some stressful events in this time period other than just the fertility, and had been holding on to extra weight and had been gaining weight over this time and had been told from her doctors that, okay, if you could lose weight, then these medications are going to work better for you, or you can get pregnant naturally, but only if you lose this amount of pounds. And she was really frustrated by that because she really felt like that wasn't fair to her. And she tried all these multiple different diets and nothing was working. She was exhausted. She was like, how can I even add in another diet here? And is it going to work? Because I've tried this and it hasn't worked in the past. So she started working with me in the blueprint. Right away, I identified some key numbers on her labs that were showing there was high inflammation in her body. And I addressed those things. I got her on a specific targeted plan that addressed that inflammation and where it was coming from. I supported her gut health, worked on her adrenal glands, and in 4 months, she was pregnant with a healthy baby. So it's possible to get pregnant regardless of the number on the scale. Because regardless of what you look like on the outside, if you have PCOS and you aren't ovulating, you have to address universal hurdles that are keeping you from ovulating and having a healthy baby. Those are things like insulin resistance. Insulin, it's not just a weight issue, it's a fuel issue. And too often in the medical world, we equate high insulin with extra body weight, and that's just not true. If you're someone who has a lean body type, you could have invisible insulin issues that are still causing elevated testosterone and stopping ovulation. Potentially, you've only had your glucose tested, and that is leaving your insulin completely unchecked, unnoticed. Looking at your glucose and not your fasting insulin is like looking at a traffic camera of a busy intersection at 3 p.m. on a Sunday. Your fasting insulin is going to look at that intersection at 5 p.m. on Monday afternoon at peak rush hour to understand specifically why there is congestion. On the other hand, you could be someone who holds on to a little extra weight, and your insulin could be steady and smooth. And for you, it's more about adrenal health that is contributing to your ovulation issues. If you're someone who holds on to extra weight and does have some insulin issues, guess what? Weight loss is not the only answer to help your insulin come down. Let's talk about inflammation. Inflammation is another hurdle, another universal hurdle that you have to get addressed. And this inflammation, I refer to this as static in your system. It can come from gut issues, food sensitivities, chronic stress. And that inflammation, that static, it tells your brain that the environment isn't safe for a baby. And people with all different BMI numbers have gut issues. It doesn't matter what your BMI is, you could still have food sensitivities and chronic stress. Your brain, it doesn't check your BMI before it decides to trigger a stress response. It just sees the static and shuts down the ovaries to protect you. And another universal hurdle, it's egg quality. To get that green light for a baby, your eggs require specific nutrients. They need a healthy cellular environment. You can hold on to less weight and have poor egg quality because of nutrient gaps. Or you could hold on to more weight and have excellent egg quality because you're nourishing your body with these specific nutrients. My job, it isn't to change your body shape. My job is to change your biological architecture. I am helping you engineer an environment where a pregnancy can thrive. So how do you move forward? Well, we stop treating the scale and start treating the person. When you come to me, I'm looking for the root cause. Is it your gut, your adrenals, your thyroid? And once I can identify that actual stalling point for you, that's when the blueprint gets built to fix it. I focus on giving your body the green light, and this happens when your blood sugar is stable, your inflammation is low, so then your brain knows there is safety to give that green light, and your cells have the building blocks they need to grow a healthy egg. When those things align, your body doesn't care what the scale says. It knows it is safe, nourished, and ready to conceive. If you've been dismissed because of your weight, whether it was because a doctor told you you had too much or not enough, I want to be very clear. Your symptoms are real. You are not crazy, and your body is not broken. Your symptoms, the missing periods, the fatigue, the acne, they are not just made up or a lack of willpower. They are an internal form of communication. They are your body's way of trying to tell you that there is a clinical root cause that needs to be addressed. Your body isn't failing you. It is trying to protect you, and it is simply waiting for the right signal to move forward. But you do not need another generic diet that makes you feel like a failure. You do not need another pill that is going to mask the symptoms. You need a fertility blueprint. A plan that validates your experience and uses high-level science to find exactly where your ovulation is stalling and fix it. And I am here to look at your labs, not your labels. And if you want to stop the guesswork and start a clinical strategy based on your actual biology, you can have a free PCOS fertility audit with me. That's where you and I are going to look at your labs and find the missing piece that is stalling your ovulation and create a 90-day plan forward that's going to march you forward to that green light for baby. I'm Dr. Angela Potter. Your body isn't broken. It's just waiting for the right signal. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If today's episode resonated with you, it's likely because you're tired of guessing and ready for a blueprint. Remember, your body isn't failing you. It's just waiting for the right signals. My mission is to help you send those signals through clinical engineering so you can move from survival to safety and finally to motherhood. To start sending those signals today, head over to drangelapotter.com/start. There you can take the Why Am I Not Ovulating discovery quiz. In just 2 minutes, you'll identify which metabolic alarms are keeping your fertility emergency brakes on. And if you're ready to stop researching and start your breakthrough, you can also book your PCOS fertility audit on that same page. This is a private 30-minute clinical deep dive with me to determine if the blueprint is the right roadmap for your fertility journey. I'm Dr. Angela Potter. Your body is capable, your health is manageable, and your future is waiting. I'll see you in the next episode.